I have always been fascinated by speedrunning. Trying to beat a game as fast as possible is a really fun way to get more out of the game than just beating it and moving on. That's why 13-year-old me has 40 hours on a game that takes the average person 15 minutes to beat on their first playthrough. But recently, I've been experiencing the itch. The itch to speedrun a game. But I couldn't think of a game that I want to speedrun. Every game I thought of would be way too hard. Listen, if you think I want to put in hundreds of hours into a speedrun category and only get like 1,000th place on the leaderboard, then you're crazy. What I needed to find was a niche game. I decided to speedrun Class of '09. If any of you guys somehow don't know what Class of '09 is, it is a visual novel following a high school girl named Nicole. The game was released in June of 2021, but got popular around 2022 and 2023 when clips of the game's crude and hilarious gameplay surfaced on TikTok and other social media.
You brought the supplies, right?
Yeah, you brought me here to cook crack?
Yeah, what else is baking soda for?
I don't know, baking?
This then spawned 2 more games and an anime. Some projects were better than others, but I've loved these games, except for Flipside, for a while, and I thought this would be a fun game to speedrun. I looked on speedran.com and YouTube, and found that no one has ever speedrun the game before. You guys are about to see the first ever speedrun of Class of '09. I first started my research on how to do this speedrun by looking up the game's flowchart. A flowchart in the visual novel sense is a map showing all the game's different branches and endings. I found the Class of '09 one flowchart from Princess Sinner's Hex. Thank you. Using this flowchart, I found that the ending with the least amount of choices to get there was the failed suicide ending and the school shooter ending. Both of these paths only take 6 options to get to. Once I booted up the game, I realized that I had forgotten about the dialogue. I went through each of these paths, counting how many clicks it takes to skip all the dialogue in each run. I figured out that it takes roughly 201 clicks to get the failed suicide ending, and only about 104 clicks to get the school shooter ending. So that will be the ending that I will be getting in the speedrun. My strategy would just be to spam click and make sure to click all of the correct options. Without further ado, here's my first attempt at speedrunning Class of '09. Alright, hello, this is my very first run of Class of '09. The goal is to get back to this screen. When I click new game, the run ends when we get back to this screen. Go!
Was that cool?
Come on, come on! Yes! Oh! That's the ending. That's it. We did it. I don't know what time that was. Hold on. The first ever speedrun of Class of '09. Yeah! Woo! When doing research into maybe getting Class of '09 on speedrun.com, I found that they don't accept visual novels as acceptable speedrunning games. Even though I was disappointed at first, it makes sense. The top spot would become a cesspool of who can click the fastest. I do challenge anyone who wants to try this speedrun for yourself and maybe find more optimal path. I only really spent 2 hours or so creating the route, and it would not surprise me if there was a faster way. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day.